So, of course, AI is a big topic of conversation in the world of marketing these days. And I've had a really interesting observation, which is that I find that those who are very technically minded, like engineers or people coming from a technical background, are often not as good at using technologies like ChatGPT than someone who is completely non-technical, or even children for that matter. And I think it's because those who are trained technical professionals are used to being in control of what they input to influence what the computer outputs. So let me give you an example. Let's say you ask ChatGPT to write you a LinkedIn post, and it gives you something that's mediocre. Well, a technically minded person will make the connection that, okay, I asked it to write something, it wasn't very good, there must be something wrong with the way I asked it, and so therefore let's revisit the input so we can get better output. And that is a classic way of thinking in the world of programming. For example, you're writing code, there's an output. If the output isn't to your desire, you go and revisit the input. Now, the fascinating thing with large language models, and especially with natural language as the interface, is the correct way to manage a system like ChatGPT giving something you don't like isn't necessarily to go and revisit your input, but really to continue the conversation. So what does young children do when you give them something they don't like? Well, they very naturally respond and just say, I don't like it. And that's the magical thing with natural language processing and large language models is if you ask ChatGPT to write you something and you don't like it, the best next step is actually to tell ChatGPT that you don't like it. Tell it why you don't like it. Give it feedback. Tell it it's too bland or too vanilla. Say it's too basic, and ask it to elaborate and revise. And I think that's the fascinating thing right now is there's this assumption that technically trained professionals have somehow an advantage in using AI, whereas the reverse is true. And I know a lot of marketers who are hesitant about diving into AI because they feel like they're not engineers, they don't have a technical background, how are they supposed to make the most out of AI? But those who are most successful with AI currently, getting the most out of AI, getting the highest quality output out of AI, are those who approach it with this childlike creativity, imagination, and curiosity. And if there's anything I've learned across the hours I've spent exploring AI and its application in marketing is you have to untrain yourself in how we're accustomed to interfacing with technology to really get past the fact that it's just technology into seeing it as almost a partner, someone who's sitting next to you like an intern or a new hire, where you're having a dialogue. You're saying, hey, can you do this for me? You're giving a feedback. You're saying, I don't really like it. Here's what I don't like it. Here's what I would rather you do. I think you could have done better here. I think this was fine. And that natural language approach is what allows you to get the highest quality output from large language models. So the next time you are worried about whether or not you have the technical qualifications to use AI in your work, I challenge you to think about everything that I've just said. It's actually the reverse. You not having a technical background actually works to your advantage, so long as you can maintain that childlike curiosity and imagination as you're working with AI as a partner and not just a tool.